And I'm going to be painting your boobies pink and righty. And then what else we're gonna do here?
How's my favorite Goomba? Andy, CraftyAndy.
Okay, you scared the shit out of me there, Dr. Corpo.
How is the commission coming along that I'm paying you for?
Commission? What do you mean commission? You're not paying me for this.
Exposure, Mr. Andy. Exposure is what I'm paying you with. Now tell me, what is the progress on our latest advertisement?
Well, it's roughly about 25% done.
100% done and ready to go on display, you say?
No, you don't understand. We're going to have to delay this at least a few more weeks.
Well, that is a funny joke, Mr. Andy. Allow me to introduce to you my latest genetically altered assistant, Backfire. Backfire?
Are those fists?
So I expect this poster to be done.
No, you don't seem to understand this. We're going to have to delay this at least a few more weeks.
Well, that is unfortunate because you know what time it is now.
No.
Yes.
No. Please,
oh,
no.
Yes.
No. No.
Oh, yes. Yes, it's crunch time. You know the drill. No paid overtime, no opportunity to leave, else you're fired. And if you need a good cry, you have 5 minutes in a corner, and after that, it's zip right back to work. Now I am going to go off and Ubisoft some females, if you know what I mean. Well, Kate, thanks, bye.
Hundreds of hours a week of unpaid overtime, no seeing my family or friends, no sleep whatsoever. Well, it's work or die. Gotta do what you gotta do, am I right? Am I right? I am CraftyAndy, and this is Crafty Arts, where we art. The nature of this episode definitely changed over time. I was going to talk about the Cyberpunk 2077 game itself, and the work or die cultures that are around it.
Did you hear about Cyberpunk? The game of the year, except the versions that are total junk.
But recent videos from Jim Sterling and Noodle changed the dynamic here, as well as how long this piece of art took to make, balancing a night job, weekly videos, and live streams at twitch.tv/CraftyAndyLive, and more events like the ones involving Activision and Blizzard abusing its workers. So here we go. I am in my mid-30s now. I doubt that I'll reach some skill level to be part of the major industries regarding movies and video games. Did I dodge a bullet though?
Does BioWare take the cake? Because during that game's 7-year-long development cycle, another term surfaced: stress casualty. In BioWare, the term refers to somebody who's, quote, had such a mental breakdown from the stress, they're just gone for a few months. The term actually comes from military documentation describing soldiers with early onset fucking PTSD.
This is likely a mental exercise to avoid overwhelming thoughts of regret, but understanding and accepting my go with the flow nature, what the hell would I have gotten out of being part of the major creative industry machine? Life After Pi is a great mini documentary that brings to light how animators in the movie industry are treated like shit. Studios have to relocate in order to win contracts as costs to produce effects and animation fluctuate. Animators face having to always rent out places and not own homes. Instances of layoffs and unpaid overtime if the movie studio hiring the company for the work wants any changes.
I've been on the staff of 5 visual effects shops that were really well known, did amazing work, that all went bankrupt, most of them owing the artist money. You know, you're constantly on the go, chasing which government's going to give the greatest handout back to the studios. I've taken to just living in hotels the past few years, find it's a lot simpler. I got suitcases that were designed to fit in the trunk of my car, and it all layers in there. Yay, VFX. I got a king-size bed. I got a jacuzzi in my room. I have those little soaps that make me feel like I'm on vacation every day, and I love using those little soaps. I love the way they feel when you open them up. Rhythm and Hues was like a new girl in my life. I fell in love again, you know what I mean? Then at a Friday meeting, I had my heart broken, just like I have a million times. And now I'm just this kind of strung out, gray-haired old bachelor.
What if I got into Disney, Pixar, or Blue Sky? Oh, that's right, Blue Sky Studios got shut down after Disney bought Fox. Alright, what are the chances and how long would I have to work at any of these places before even being given the chance to write up a story, much less direct one? I guess with something like HBO and Cartoon Network, I'd have more of a chance, but that depends what their focus is. HBO is already wanting to focus on little kids shows, which is why Infinity Train isn't renewed for another season. In industry terms, there are 3 main age demographics for children's animation: 2 to 5, 6 to 11, and 9 to 14. Cartoon Network used to be more friendly to the 9 to 14 demo than other cable networks, but has now mostly stopped and is instead trying to expand its preschool programming while keeping its 6 to 11 shows safe for even younger viewers, demanding formulaic play patterns for merchandising purposes. It seems like the AT&T merger and the needs of HBO Max may have hastened Cartoon Network's shift to preschool shows. Also, with China taking over primary share in the economy due to its population size mainly, minus the Uyghurs they're putting in internment camps, certain themes and ideas have to be curved in order to kowtow to the culture's sensitivities regarding things like queers, for instance. China still lists homosexuality as a mental illness in their textbooks, and in Russia, you can be put in jail if the citizens don't murder you there first, and the officials.
Пристрелить, чем меня отправят куда-нибудь в подвал или еще куда-нибудь. Ну, то есть, нет, в тюрьму я не хочу.
В основном проблема какая, что с таким человеком, как Кирилл, и, скорее всего, срок ты свой не отсидишь, тебя просто убьют.
All that aside, the animation industry is still pigeonholed into either kids' entertainment or adult joke-a-thons. What are the chances in the industry of getting a chance to do something like Castlevania without a Kickstarter and team I convinced to join me? Then there's the game industry. Investigate all game companies, by the way. I'll never forget how blown away I was with StarCraft, created by Blizzard. I spent weeks saving nickels and dimes while going to the store just to look at the damn box. The lore found within the universe, the story within a genre of gaming that often didn't have much in the way of story, let alone characters you cared about.
All units prepare for retaliation. Kerrigan caught us with our pants down, but it's time to start giving some back.
If I wasn't so fucking alone, fearful of my afterlife, and trying to conform to expectations of what kind of person I should be, I'd probably be $100,000 in student loan debt with a filming degree and no invites to projects. But maybe I could have been picked up by the gaming industry. An industry that scams artists through exposure, unpaid internships, nightmare work environments that still underpay its employees if they don't decide to later lay you off. A woman during a work party murdered herself after nude photos were passed around by coworkers at Blizzard. There's little doubt to these allegations as investigations happen due to the fact there is probable cause. There was an investigation over the course of 2 years that gathered evidence such as this. I've been in sales, call centers, retail, and machinery work environments. I think the closest to anything that I read in the reports was going to bars and strip joints after a work party with coworkers. So we got places with frat boyish mentalities in charge of them. Great. Rape jokes, cubicle crawls, workloads being neglected and dumped on less desirable staff. The woman, apparently. I've picked up on a lot of other stories of companies exploiting artists to work for exposure. This includes comic book publishers, which always seem on the brink of bankruptcy. Everyone that isn't Marvel and DC, that is, at least. I have a kids book that is outlined, and I intend to have the first 2 pages inked and ready to mail out. I wonder what my chances are having knowing 0 in the industry and no agent. We'll see. Maybe my current YouTube numbers will suffice as recognition. Speaking of social popularity games, 16 years ago, I was informed that a lot of social high school dynamics don't really ever end in life. And he's right, they don't. Even in the world of streaming and YouTube, I feel like I'm the kid sitting alone at the lunch table in terms of my numbers. Can't really do much about that other than try to work hard and smart about it. Gotta make friends with established people, gotta figure out what's cool out there. Unless I am willing and able to just throw a bunch of money at Google and creators, essentially begging them to drive traffic to my pages. But who knows what being thrusted into fame early on would have given me. For every AVGN, there seems to be at least 10 crash and burn types. The what could have beens, going through the same motions of their creativity, never risking something new because the audience that currently gives them money might get mad. Fuck, people complain that Angry Nerd episodes were not coming out as fast because James Rolfe dares to spend time with his wife and daughter. Even others who don't crash, there are the types that just burn. American meme style.
That's just like how we are now. We're just like, what's hot? Someone make me laugh. Somebody do something awesome. Somebody be fucking crazy.
Saturday night I slept an hour, Sunday I slept 2 hours, and then Monday I slept 4. Then I posted that. I wanted to kill myself at the time. A lot of people hit me up, they're like, don't kill yourself yet, I still have yet to party with you. I'm like, oh, thank you. You really care about my well-being. It's really just a self-centered, I just want to get drunk with Kirill one time, then you can kill yourself. They don't even like talk to you. They're just like, oh, can I just get on the Snapchat? That's when you feel like a zoo animal. They don't really care about you.
The end game for these people, I think, is going to be sad. They're in the spotlight, but when it's done, and they're not equipped to do anything else in life. Like, where do you go? So you're getting paid however many thousands of dollars to show up and pour champagne on some chick's boobs. But what happens when you're 50 and no one wants you pouring champagne anywhere on them or even like breathing on them?
All hail the slut whisper.
Everyone gets old and ugly one day. You could just fucking drop dead at any moment. I've been losing more followers lately, and that's fine with me. I don't care. It's all bullshit in the end. I just more think about who's gonna show up at my funeral.
People think that the whole thing just kind of fell into my lap. And to be honest with you, I don't really care. At the end of the day, I'm doing better than most of them. The age of the digital influencer is like, I'm telling you, it's gonna fucking crash.
And this fat Jew is right. With all these next generation inspired wannabe influencers, how saturated is this market going to get? How many advertising dollars are going to be available when everyone decides to do a podcast? We're already seeing influencers who are all but grown in a lab, making ad campaigns disguised as videos you'd watch on the tube. How long before everything that isn't CNN and Fox isn't just relegated to the dark side of YouTube for those that haven't been established between 2006 to 2010? With maybe a few chosen that are elevated beyond obscurity by some big family-friendly creator who takes mercy on your Let's Plays of LEGO Lord of the Rings series.
Hi, what's going on, guys? So, I'm back with some more LEGO Lord of the Rings.
Could always buy fake subscribers. Often people don't watch a video over the fact the views are not that great. How much would I have to spend in order to make my channel look popular enough in order for it to be popular, I wonder? Whatever it is, someone like Abigail Shapiro can afford it, but I sure as hell can't.
Look, there's been a major marketing push behind her as of late. Like, I see ads for her shit.
Yeah.
You know, so like obviously some of the people that are backing him are also backing her, or maybe he's backing her personally. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it's clear that she wants in on the family business.
There's always that strong possibility that I may always be an obscure creator like Mustard Bust, spinning our wheels because we couldn't scrounge up a few $100,000 for ad revenue. Is this entire piece I written out the equivalent of playing out my own real-life version of the Fox and the Grape story?
There's an ancient Greek fable where a fox wants some grapes, but he can't reach the vine. So he walks away bitterly and says, well, the grapes are transphobic anyway.
Mark Manson, author of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck and We're All Fucked, a book about hope, has a few posted videos. How to be extraordinary, or not, and in defense of being average.
There are over 7.2 billion people on this planet. And really, only about 1,000 of those have major worldwide influence at any given time. That leaves the other 7,199,999,000, plus or minus, of us to come to terms with the limited scope of our lives and the fact that the vast majority of what we do will likely not matter long after we've died.
One of the biggest things that's sold to you in the self-help industry is that we all have this special, extraordinary thing inside us, and it's just waiting to get out. All you need to know is the secret to get it out of you. That unless you're doing something incredible with your life, then it's somehow wasted. I think this is bullshit. In fact, I think the problem isn't so much us. We've lost track of what normal, good human experience is actually like. First of all, most of us are going to be ordinary at the vast majority of things that we do. Second of all, even if you are able to lift 1,000 pounds off the ground or whatever, that doesn't necessarily make you a good father or a good friend or or even a good person.
It must be easy though, being in a position of a popular best-selling author and having a money-making blog, to say that there is nothing wrong with being average. I don't want to be average. You fucking kidding me? But I guess that's my problem. You get inundated with all these promises. It gets better. The weirdos turn out fine. Eventually you have to come to the same conclusion Al Bundy does in regards to his own life.
But I'm not a loser. Because despite it all, me and every other guy who will never be what he wanted to be are still out there being what we don't want to be 40 hours a week for life. And the fact that I haven't put a gun in my mouth, you pudding of a woman, makes me a winner.
Chances are you'll be in the position of average like most people end up. At that point, you have to make a choice. To be bitter, take glee in watching public figures and those who do more than you fall on their face. Place yourself on some moral pedestal, dumping all your flaws and shortcomings on others. Or do what you can to the best of your abilities and limitations, making your own rules and measures of success along the way. If the writings you wanted to make never gets picked up, if your ideas never get funded, if your business fails, in the end, you'll know, regardless of how things turned out. You can take comfort having the ability to look back and say, at least I never gave up, motherfuckers! What was this about? Oh right, making a Nightmare Before Christmas Cyberpunk crossover painting. I did pay to have this tweet promoted in order to garner more votes, and this is what y'all chose. I figured the name recognition would help, and the talk of Cyberpunk 2077, whether good or bad, would give it a boost. It probably won't, not at this point, I'm sure. Even as I released this close to October, and in order to try to build some content and have it ready ahead of time. That's okay though, I'll just move on to the next big project, Sonic the Hedgehog. Maybe I can finish that series before the second movie comes out. I don't have millions of dollars to buy fake followers and subs to make myself look popular in order to get popular, so share this around if you like, even if people that you know will hate it. Why not? Always expect weekly videos showcasing more artwork and thoughts on various topics. $2 a month's Patreon to see episodes like this early and high-res artwork to download along with a digital sketchbook, and that's it. And there we have it, another piece to wrap up in plastic and throw away in the closet. Of course, I'm actually digitally imposing the finished piece on here because as of filming this, it's not actually done yet. Needed a few delays. But other than that, if you want to see episodes like this early, join the Patreon. And I don't know what the next episode's gonna be, but when it is, I'll be sure to let you all know. Till then. Like, subscribe, share, give me ideas for topics and or art in the comments or email me. CraftyAndy Patreon for high-res art, files, and sketchbook, and early episodes. Also CraftyAndy under the Art Pal store for prints and art gallery. Streams on twitch.tv/CraftyAndy live. Check for scheduling, gaming, art making, and live commentary. This channel's mainly focused on entertainment and art, but if you want some real weirdness, go to the Weirdzords channel. Check that out. There is also an invite in the description for our Discord group. You can meet other creators such as myself, live streamers, gamers, artists. It's all there. Like, subscribe, share. As I said, good day.